This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Tristan Hildebrand coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with the look at today's top stories for Tuesday, April 28th. The KMT proposes an 800 billion NT dollar alternative to already proposed $1.25 trillion national defense budget. China escalates control over internet access, and Taiwan and Tuvalu expand media cooperation through a new MOU. But first, today's top story. Legislative Speaker Han Kuo-yu convened the third round of cross-party negotiations regarding the special defense budget this Monday. During the talks, KMT Legislator Hsu Chiao-hsin introduced a new proposal totaling 800 billion NT dollars or $25.4 billion US dollars, marking the first time an alternative amount has been formally raised in negotiations. Han coordinated with party representatives privately, then announced that negotiations would reconvene next Wednesday to allow caucuses to reach internal consensus before proceeding. Premier Zhuo Rongtai said the cabinet's proposed 1.25 trillion NT dollar or $39.6 billion US dollar defense package was formulated based on in-depth assessments of Taiwan's requirements, its fiscal capacity, and cooperation with partner countries. According to local media reports, if the KMT and TPP reach a consensus, the bill could be put to a vote as early as next Friday. If divisions persist within the KMT, deliberations could be delayed further, possibly until after the Trump-Xi meeting. Responding to the potential delay, Presidential Office spokesperson Karen Kuo said,
"Previously, they said it would only be passed after the KMT returned from their trip to China, but they already left and came back. Now they say it will be discussed after the Trump-Xi meeting. What will be the next excuse, the next reason?"
Kuo stressed the importance of strengthening Taiwan's defense capabilities, noting concerns over China's continued harassment and the international community's concern regarding Taiwan's self-defense capabilities. She argued that nearly 70% of the public supports strengthening national defense and called on lawmakers to expedite passing the legislation. China has launched its toughest crackdown yet on VPNs and circumvention tools, shifting enforcement directly to users.
China is escalating its control over the internet, launching what analysts describe as its most severe crackdown yet on online circumvention tools. Since February, ahead of the annual two-sessions meetings, authorities have tightened restrictions on virtual private networks, or VPNs, causing widespread disruptions across commonly used services. Research from the Institute for National Defense and Security Research, INDSR, indicates the campaign reflects a coordinated national effort to seal off China's cyberspace, blocking external information flows and what officials call cognitive infiltration to safeguard regime security. Anti-censorship advocates say in the past, users were penalized after bypassing restrictions. Now, simply having circumvention tools installed or the capability to access blocked content may trigger punishment. Another key factor is growing information confrontation with the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. The agency recently released Chinese-language guides on bypassing censorship and launched a privacy-focused platform aimed at helping users evade restrictions. Of cybersecurity assistant research fellow Du Zhenyi says authorities are using an uncertainty strategy, varying enforcement by time and location to make detection patterns harder to predict, while reinforcing that control over cyberspace remain firmly in party hands. Critics point to double standards. While citizens face strict bans, state media continue operating accounts on platforms like X and YouTube. Observers warn that the use of big data, facial recognition, and advanced filtering systems against ordinary users could further widen the gap between state power and individual access to information. Joey Cho for RTI News.
Tuvalu Broadcasting Corporation, TVBC, and Radio Taiwan International, RTI, signed a memorandum of understanding to strengthen cooperation in news, program, and personnel exchanges this Tuesday. The MOU renews the first agreement signed between the organizations in 2005 and pledges to jointly address global challenges, including the digital divide, climate change, and the spread of disinformation. Tuvalu has maintained diplomatic relations with Taiwan since 1979, making it one of the nation's longest-standing Pacific allies. Tuvalu Ambassador Lily Tanginja-Favi signed on behalf of TVBC and said that the cooperation ensures that the people of Tuvalu have timely access to accurate information, remain connected, and have a voice. The ambassador mentioned that Tuvalu's government announced 21 priorities for the new government in 2024. These include priorities to address climate change as an existential threat to the island nation, and one priority dedicated to reaffirming its commitment to the long-term and lasting special relationship between Tuvalu and Taiwan. The ambassador noted that the MOU reflects the government's priorities in strengthening relations with Taiwan. RTI chairperson Cheryl Lai said the MOU reflects the continuity of a partnership that spans nearly 5 decades and enables Tuvalu and Taiwan to address challenges, including the digital divide, climate change, and the growing need for accurate, reliable information. Lai said she believes the newly signed agreement will serve as a platform for innovation, collaboration, and mutual growth in the media sector. Foreign Affairs Vice Minister Ge Baoshen, who witnessed the signing ceremony, said he hopes the MOU will amplify Taiwan's voice in the Pacific region, bring societies closer through information sharing, and promote mutual understanding, prosperity, and sustainable development. To strengthen domestic production capacity for critical medicines and improve supply chain resilience amid global uncertainty, the cabinet has approved a 4-year plan for pharmaceutical resilience with a total budget of 24 billion NT dollars or $760 million US. The health ministry aims to promote domestic production for at least 50 key drugs and medical supplies. In an interview on Monday, Health Minister Shi Zhongliang said a major focus of the plan is boosting the supply of active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs. API production is largely concentrated in China and India, with Taiwan currently producing only about 16% of its own APIs. The minister said other priorities include increasing the supply of diabetes drugs, which recently faced shortages due to the popularity of weight loss injections, as well as stocking up on basic traditional antibiotics. Shi said,
In the past, Taiwan had no domestic production capability for blood bags, which are indispensable for blood collection and transfusion. But this year, local manufacturers are expected to be able to supply them. Having a local supply ensures readiness in case of sudden demand surges or disruptions in foreign supply.
Financial Information Service Co. has officially launched the TWQR Inbound Global Payment Service. Japanese tourists visiting Taiwan can now use their home country's mobile payment app, PayPay, to scan QR codes and make purchases. The EasyCard Corporation stated in a press release this Monday that it welcomes Japanese visitors traveling for business or leisure and is rolling out a variety of promotional offers, including special deals at participating stores. Locations include Far Eastern Garden City, Sogo Zhongxiao Store, Esley Spectrum Songyan, Nanjichang Night Market, and various shops around the Ximen, Dongmen, and Xingtian Temple MRT stations. They originally announced their plan to integrate the TWQR inbound service with Japan's PayPay system on April 14th. PayPay, Japan's leading mobile payment platform with more than 73 million users, is the first to adopt TWQR inbound, with plans to integrate Nets from Singapore within the same fiscal quarter. According to statistics from Taiwan's Tourism Administration, the number of visitors to Taiwan reached 8.57 million in 2025, marking a 9% annual increase. Taiwan, Japan, and Singapore are geographically close, and Japan remains the largest source of visitors to Taiwan. Thank you for joining me for the news. I'm Tristan Hildebrand. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.